Welcome to yet another awaited session of our weekly Sunday satsang. I'm Dipti and have joined this virtual satsang from Glenrock, New Jersey. In the current times, our day-to-day life always goes busy in fulfilling our physical and mental requirements and social responsibilities. In this fast-paced routine life, the requirements of the soul are often forgotten. So, first of all, I congratulate each one of you on board for taking some time from your busy schedule and meeting us on this virtual satsang to fulfill the requirements of our soul. Let's get started. So for past few months, Navy has been conducting this Swarved Wisdom session, and today our guest speaker is Dr. Subhash Chandraji, who is a psychiatric doctor practicing in New York City. And today we are really fortunate he is with us. He is a Vihangam Yoga practitioner since his childhood days and an experienced speaker. So welcome Subhashi to this session, and please take the Swarved dohas and shower your wisdom on us. Over to you.
Thank you, Dipti ji. And Jai Sadgurudev to all. The couplets, which are second mandal, second chapter, and the 12th couplet. So the couplet reads, Sadguru Nityanadi hai, स्वयं सिद्ध गुरु आए, सिद्ध गुरु अभ्यास से परंपरा गुरु आए. Swarved is a vast ocean full of pearls of spiritual wisdom. And with this initiation that we should read Swarveda and we should understand the meaning of its couplets. Every time we delve deep, we have to understand why. Why do we need to understand this? Why we need to know about different kinds of gurus? So to know the science, to know the details of any work, action that you are committing yourself to is very important. So, sadhan, seva, satsang, and the fourth component, swadhyay. So, swadhyay is important to generate the knowledge, the basic knowledge, because it takes away the suspicion. Because in lack of swadhyay, people easily have the tendency to deviate away from the path. So in this couplet, Swamiji is talking about the first type of Sadguru, that is Nitya Anadi Sadguru. Nitya, forever, Anadi, eternal. So Nitya Anadi Sadguru is an everlasting, bodiless personality that is capable of incarnating himself at his discretion. He is not born to a couple. And this is a Sadguru who appears in any human form whenever he wants. He has the knowledge of atoms, and he is gifted with the power of materializing his body to his will. the great divine power that Nitya Anadi Sadgurudev has is one of the components of that is the scientific method of assimilating and disseminating atomic particles through which he creates the physical body. I remember one of the stories, and these are stories which helps us to learn things better. So this is about Kabir Sahib, and he came across a guru who was challenging Kabir Sahib that you do not have any power and you're not capable of anything. In that struggle, to show that he is he does not have that divine knowledge. This guru, and I don't remember the exact name, he struck a sword on his body, a sword to cut his physical body. And when he threw the sword on Kabir Sahib, the sword passed through his body. And then again, he was back in his physical form. So this is one of the examples of showing that one can create and dissolve his physical form. That is one of the capabilities we are talking about of Nitya Anadi Sadgurudev. Nitya Anadi Sadguru, he appears in all the four ages, Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali Yuga. And as needed, he teaches this technique of Sahaj Yoga, Vihangam Yoga, the only technique of God realization. And if you further go in deep about Nitya Anadi Sadguru, the discussion has been in Rig Veda at several places, and one of the couplets of Rig Veda, Tva Dutam Agne Amritam Yuge Yuge Havya Vaham Dadhirya Payum Idhyam Devascha Martasacha Jagrivam Vibhum Viswapatim Namasa Nisdirya. I'm unable to tell the meaning of every word, but you, the Dut, the messenger, Agne Amritam Yuge Yuge, Yuge Yuge in every yug, Kali Yug, Dwapar Yug, Treta Yug. Agne Amritam, you, the messenger, you bring the nectarine message, nectarine Amritam message. Avyavaham Dadhirre Payam Idyam. And even my pronunciation, I believe, is not very correct here. So my apologies for that. So this message is brought by that Dut of God, that messenger of the God, to take away the suffering of humanity. And no one knows him, whether the Devasha Cha means or, Devasha, the deity is the God, Martasa Cha means the human beings. So neither the mankind nor the deities know him. And we lay ourselves flat in his holy feet. So that is what Rig Veda talks about, the appearance of Nitya Anadi Sadgurudev in all the yugas. And from this couplet, we understood that Sadguru is the messenger of Paramatma, or the God. And he has been addressed as Sukrit Dev. And as we see, we talk about Sukrit Dev as someone who takes away the sufferings of the humanity. And where do those suffering come from? From Maya, the nature, the Prakriti. Because when we are too engrossed as human beings in this Prakriti, we forget the basic purpose of being human. We deviate away from the path of spiritualism. Then the eternal Sadguru comes on this earth to salvage the spiritual, to salvage the sufferings of the soul. Sant Kabir has been named as, or is, Nityanadi Sadguru, who was present in Kali Yuga. Now, see, being a man of science, I cannot further explain any of these. But as a matter of fact, there are still so many things which cannot be explained on our intellect, current gadgets. They are only experience based, and it is stored upon the worthy human only by the blessings of Sadguru Dev. So in that couplet, you see in that description, the next is, so we talked about Sadguru Nitya Anadi hai, Swam Siddha Guru Aaye. So who is Swam Siddha Sadguru? So as the literature discusses about it, Sarveda discusses about it, that Nitya Anadi Sadguru, the eternal Sadguru, inspires a liberated soul to take a human form and propagate this divine knowledge of Vihangam Yoga or Brahma Vidya. When we talked about Nityanadi, we discussed that this soul does not come out of a couple. It is not born, but Swam Siddh Sadguru is the teacher who is born to a couple and is empowered by Nitya Anadi Sadguru to preach Brahma Vidya. He is not required to practice the method himself. Why? Because he is gifted with the divine power by everlasting Sadguru, the true teacher himself, the Nitya Anadi Sadguru. So this Sadguru, who is empowered by Nitya Anadi, is called as Swam Siddh Sadguru. So Swam Siddh, the word itself says Swam, himself, Siddh, who has acquired, accomplished. So Swam Siddh Sadguru, and he starts preaching. The third type of Sadguru is Abhyas Siddh Sadguru, as you can see in the couplet, that Siddh Guru Abhyas Se, and then comes Parampara Guru. So if we are looking at Guru Siddh Abhyas Se, it is a Sadguru who acquires this post by practice. Abhyas is practice. And that practice, we are not talking about a practice of just 10 minutes, 2 times a day. We are talking about a soul who undertakes a strenuous penance for a pretty long time. He is the one who is guided by Nityanadi Sadguru. So you see, first is Nityanadi Sadguru. Nityanadi Sadguru is the one who guided or who bestowed the power or empowered the Swam Siddh Sadguru. And once again, when it comes to Abhyas Siddh Sadguru, Abhyas Siddh Sadguru is taught and guided again by Nitya Anadi Sadguru, who manifests himself from time to time to guide the Abhyas Siddh Sadguru. Nitya Sanadi Sadguru bestows the practitioner And here the practitioner we are referring to is Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj. So Nitya Anadi Sadguru gives this power to the practitioner, the power of a true teacher to this such practiced soul, and that is known as Abhyas Siddh Sadguru. So here we should also know a little bit more about Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj, who is Abhyas Siddh Sadguru. He was born in 1888 in a yogi family in Pakdi Balia. It's in Uttar Pradesh in India. And he was born in family of yogis of such nature who at times could sit down in meditation for 6 months straight. Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj started practicing yoga when he was 11 years old. Now, how it happened? He went to Kashi to learn Sanskrit. Because as we know, Kashi is a pilgrim, a place where learned scholars of scriptures are there, and people go there to learn. But since Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj was a Brahmin by caste, and he was not a Brahmin, but he was a Kshatriya. So this is talking about the caste system in Indian culture. And instead of going in that direction, so because Sadafal Devji Maharaj was coming from a Kshatriya family, they refused to impart him the knowledge of Sanskrit. Now he was disappointed, and as a boy, he decided to practice yoga because he had known that the ancient saints, they got deep, invaluable knowledge only by practicing yoga. So he sat down in meditation and started practicing by a technique which was taught by Lord Krishna in Gita. So Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj practiced his first lesson of yoga for controlling mind continuously for 3 years. And as it is said that he sat in meditation in a secluded place in Siddhasan for 6 hours every day. So we are talking about the making of Abhyas Siddh Sadgurudev. From the age of 11 itself, the desire, the passion, the desire, the attraction towards the spirituality is so profound that even if he was devoid of Sanskrit, because most or all the literatures are in Sanskrit, he took upon himself that he will learn this knowledge by the practice of meditation. So he went beyond the bookish knowledge and sat down in meditation to learn this knowledge. Swamiji mentions that one night while he was meditating, he found his room filled with effulgence, and he heard a sweet and a soothing voice which said, "This won't lead you to attain the Supreme Lord, as this practice is based on material sense organs." Swamiji also mentions that sometimes while he was in a state of meditation, he felt that someone put one of the fingers on the uppermost point of the head, the crown of the head. And when he opened his eyes, there was no one. And he could not make out who was that person who talked to him so sweetly and who touched his head with his finger. Swamiji continued with his practice of meditation inside his cave in Brithikutasram Pakdi. And there again he met a saint with a lot of light effulging from him. And this saint initiated him into the conscious technique of Vihangam Yoga, and he instructed him not to come out of his cave before the public until a anusthan of 6 months is complete. Only later Swamiji realized that saint who taught him this conscious technique, that saint was the eternal true teacher, Nitya Anadi Sadguru. So see, the Lord is eternal, and the way of realizing him will also be eternal. So the teacher teaching the scientific technique of realizing the Lord is also eternal. And this is how a Abhyas Siddh Sadgurudev comes with the empowerment and the unique ability to teach this technique to all the aspirants across the globe. So he practiced this technique for 17 years in cave at Vritikut Ashram, in another cave at Sunya Shikhar Himalaya Ashram, Jhusi Ashram on the Ganges River, and several other sacred sites. And from Vritikut Ashram itself, where his cave is, he began the preaching of scientific method of Vihangam Yoga. And as we all know that he also spoke in his customary voice from the air for 15 minutes after abandoning his body, where he mentioned his descendants and his disciples to place his body in samadhi, which he had already built before relinquishing his body. So again, once again, we need to understand the atomic molecular level of this knowledge. Sadhguru Dev right now is not in his mortal frame, is no longer in his body, but he is capable of producing a Sadguru whenever, wherever necessary, using his atomic power. And he mentioned it multiple times during his lifetime. He also appears before his disciples, protects them from dangers, and guides them to the process forward. Now coming to the fourth type of Sadguru, Parampara Sadguru. Parampara means inheritance. So a Sadguru by inheritance is Parampara Sadguru. So Parampara Sadguru is a noble soul who inherits the Abhyas Siddh Sadguru, as Abhyas Siddh Sadguru empowers him to carry out this duty of decreasing human sufferings by teaching this technique of Vihangam Yoga. Parampara Sadguru may be the son or the disciple whom the Abhyas Siddh Sadguru directs the flow of the wisdom and initiates the deserving individual into Vihangam Yoga. Remember, there is only one Sadguru in one period of time. And once a soul has been authorized by the eternal Sadguru, that is Nitya Anadi Sadguru, he can hand over the science of Brahm Vidya and the authority to propagate it to whom? Either to his progeny or other deserving disciple. Such Sadguru is known as Parampara Sadguru. First Parampara Sadguru Dev was Dharamchandra Dev Ji Maharaj, and then followed by him, the second Parampara Sadguru is Sri Swatantra Dev Ji Maharaj. So Sadguru Sadafal Dev Ji Maharaj, the Abhyas Siddh Sadguru, appointed Dharmchandra Devji Maharaj as his successor before leaving the body. So the knowledge was inherited by Dharmchandra Devji Maharaj. So it was based on the ability of Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj to elevate the position, elevate Dharmchandra Devji Maharaj to the position of Parampara Sadguru and allowing his yogic power to flow into him. And after Acharya Sri Dharmchandra Devji Maharaj relinquished his body in September 1969, after 15 years of preaching this knowledge of God realization, he bestowed the power of true teacher to his son and pupil Acharya Swatantra Devji Maharaj, the second Sadguru in tradition. And as we know that Sadguru Sri Swatantra Devji Maharaj has been working day and night for last 40 years, spreading the eternal knowledge of Vihangam Yoga throughout the world. A few details on Sadguru Sri Swatantra Devji Maharaj. He took human birth in Balia district of Uttar Pradesh, a state in India, on 28th of July in the year 1947. And at the time of his birth itself, Sadguru Sadafal Devji divinely foretold that the boy would go on to liberate a great number of pure souls from the miseries and bondage of Maya. And hence his name, he was named as Swatantra Dev. Swatantra means liberated. At a young age of 22, he was designated the second Parampara Sadguru Dev, succeeding Sri Dharmchandra Devji Maharaj. So between these four types of gurus, the authority that they have is the same. As Sadguru Sadafal Devji is written in Swarveda, Brahma Vidya hai Brahmaja hai Ishwari Dhar, Dabe na Kahu Shakti se Sadguru Jagat Prachar. So this Brahma Vidya, this knowledge of God realization, originates from the Supreme Soul himself. It is a stream of divine knowledge, and no power in the universe can hinder Sadguru's mission to spread the knowledge in the entire world. I have had disciples who would say, oh, he was in front of Sri Swatantra Devji, and it doesn't seem like he's a guru. For some people, with their ignorance, Sri Swatantra Devji Maharaj, he comes across as a very calm and ordinary human being. And seeing his personality, for some people, it becomes difficult to even believe that he is a Sadguru, as in, he is the one where there is no difference between him and Supreme Being. As again said in Swarveda for Sadguru, Shar Shabd Guru Ek hai, Yame Bhed Naman. Shar Shabd and Guru both are one, because Sadguru has the power and authority to give you whatever and to whomever he wishes. There are countless examples of these kind of miracles where people got whatever they desired. Most of the people desire boon of health, wealth, fulfillment of worldly desires, and Sadguru has helped them. But remember, Sadguru is not for giving and fulfilling these worldly desires. He is for making us free from this bondage of suffering and help us realize the Supreme Soul. So we must take it upon ourselves that we must be wise and only seek a spiritual enlightenment from Sadguru, as we know that he can, if he wishes, he in fact can bless any deserving soul with the realization of Supreme Entity. On the same note about Parampara Sadguru, who comes across as a simple human being. So remember, Sadguru has two forms: the bodily form, which we see with our eyes, and the unseen, unrevealed divine form, which is seen in the fourth stage of Vihangam Yoga meditation practice. And there, one realizes the full divine glory of Sadguru. So remember, Sri Swatantra Devji Maharaj is not just another holy man or guru. He is the Sadguru who can liberate soul from the bondage of the world and free them from the cycle of birth and death. So with this discussion of different types of guru, I will take a pause here and back to you, Diptiji, if for discussion on this topic.
Thank you so much, Subhashi. You explained the Doha, in a very in-depth way and so beautifully. Thanks a lot for that. And now I would like to request our audiences, if they have any question related to this particular Doha, then please come forward and ask questions to Subhashi.
Namaskar.
Jai Sadgurudev Tejinder Ji. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I have one question. Like, if Sadhguru liberates someone who has a previous baggage of karmas, so if he liberates, so all those karmas are gone right away? Means they say you have to suffer for your bad deeds, right? Means karma ka फल भोगना पड़ता है. So if he liberates, so everything is vanished. Like a clean slate, and just got a question. Thank you.
Thank you, Tajinder Ji and Jai Sadgurudev. As I understand that Sadguru is capable of freeing you from bondage whenever he wants and to whoever he wants. He has that ability based on your devotion as a Uttam Shishya. For the highest quality of the Shishya, all those baggages can be taken away by your devotion to Sadguru's holy feet. That is what my understanding is, but we also have esteemed speakers in our session, Vijayji, Lalmaniji, Rajji. So Vijay Dhavaluriji, anyone who would like to shed more light, please do so.
Thank you. Thank you.
In audience, if anyone would like to talk in this particular topic, this question asked by Tejinder Ji, please come forward and
Yes, Uday, this is Vijay.
Jai Sadgurudev Vijay Ji.
I first want to start with the note of announcement that Tejinder Ji and everybody who have been joining satsang here, but please also plan to attend our 12th of August event. So Tejinder Ji, if you have not yet heard about it, 12th of August is when we are having our Bhumi Pujan for the ground that the land that has been purchased. And in the evening, we'll have a celebration in the Royal Albert Palace in New Jersey. So please make sure that you are available to attend our event. That's a very historic event for Navy on 12th of August. And we are going to circulate a registration link to have the count of people that we need to give to Royal Albert Palace to arrange the food accordingly. They need to know how many are of age 5 to 12, because they have different rate for that age, and then how many are 12 plus, and how many are under 5. So the registration, I will request all of you to, once you receive the registration link from Rajji or Naveenji, whoever will deliver that to us, we have to immediately fill that registration so that things can be planned accordingly. Now coming to the question, the previous statement, before I come to this karma thing, the previous statement that Sadguru is the liberator. Sadguru is actually capable of everything that you expect of a guru. A guru is one who cleanses us from inside. So not only he cleanses our impurities that we have within, but he also cleanses our desires. He also motivates us and takes us from bad action to good actions. The kind of inclination we have for the ill thoughts or ill actions, they all get transformed with the real satsang. The Sadguru is also embodiment of truth. So having the company of Sadguru is the ultimate satsang actually. And in that satsang, there is a transformation of actions. There is a transformation of destination also. And that's why it is said, Charo Phal Guru Charanam. So Sadguru is not only for liberation. Actually, if we start living our life in accordance to the principles of Sadguru Dev, then Arth, Dharma, Kam, and Moksha, all four goals of lives are achieved with the blessings of Sadguru, with the guidance and with the perimeter of Sadguru's principle, within the perimeter of Sadguru principle. If we stay within the perimeter of Sadguru's energy, his principles, then all fourfold goals are achieved under Sadguru. So when we say that we should not take or ask for the mere physical thing from the Sadguru because he is the liberator, it does not mean that the other goals of life are compromised when you follow Sadguru. So I just wanted to make it very clear. We have experienced in our personal life. The glory of Sadguru is that when we say that we should not ask for the mere physical thing from Sadguru, because you don't need to ask for it. When we ask for devotion, when we ask for the cleansing from within, that itself takes care of our prosperity also, because Sadguru knows what is needed, what is good for us, and accordingly, the things will unfold for us to unblock our devotion if there is any physical blockages in our life. There's any prosperity that is needed for us to grow in spirituality, that prosperity also comes on the way, so that you're free from all those kind of entanglement and you can peacefully grow in spirituality. So Charo Phal Guru Charan, you must remember this. We should not think that coming to Sadhguru is just for liberation. No, coming to Sadhguru is for all fourfold goals of life: Artha, Dharma, Kam, and Moksha. Now, about the karma, see, the karma is deposited as the sanchit karma. And if some set of those sanchit karma has taken the shape of prarabdha before you came into this body, those prarabdha is something that we all are tied to, something that is already destined for this current life. You're all tied to that. But anything which has not taken the shape of prarabdha, it is only sanchit. And in this life, if you cleanse yourself from within and become eligible for liberation, then you are liberated. All the karma which are yet to reap the fruits, they burn away in the light of Brahma Vidya. As we have heard many times in satsang, Brahma Vidya chingi udi lagi karma ghara, karma vasana jar gayi chetana chetana. With the light of Brahma Vidya, with the experience of Almighty, our soul is so cleansed from within that all the karma vasana, meaning even if there was a slightest chance of getting back to the bad actions, all those burn away. You become pure from inside. And there is no residual fruits of karma in the sanchit form anymore. Rather, what remains is only prarabdha, which is the destined fruits of karma for the current life alone. So you remain tied to the current life destinations, but you're free from the future birth. And that's how you're liberated. When you have no karma left for you to push you to get pushed to the new life, when there's nothing left, no bondage of karma left for you to take another birth, that's what the liberation really truly means, that you're no more tied to the rebirth. You liberate and you are free from life and death. So yes, in this current life, when we meditate and follow the principle of Sadhguru, if we attain the Jivan Mukht state, then we are free from all other karma other than prarabdha. Yes.
Thank you, Vijayji. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vijayji, for answering Tejinder Ji's question.
Dipti ji, yeah, Dipti ji, it looks like Monica ji has one question on the chat.
Okay.
Maybe we can just answer that and then we can move forward with that prayer of the week.
So Subhash ji, Monica ji is asking, thanks for sharing the nectar of wisdom, Subhash ji. Why is it that Sadhguru Dev looks to be a very simple and calm being? Hence his form becomes deceiving for most of the common population. What is the best way to experience him in human form as a supreme God for the common men?
Thank you, Monica ji and Dipti ji. In my understanding, this is about one's ability. For example, if someone doesn't know what is a smartphone, what it is capable of, someone's knowledge, experience, and understanding is not of that level, they will only use the smartphone to make a call, just like a regular phone. So a disciple needs to have those eyes to experience the real form of Sadhguru. So on to your question, why is it that Sadhguru Dev looks to be very simple and calm being? For a regular human being through this regular eyes, Sadhguru looks like a simple human being Whereas if you look at the discussion of Uttam Shishya, the moment Uttam Shishya, and by discussion I mean the quality, the glasses that a Uttam Shishya is wearing. So those are those disciples who have sanskar of the previous birth, and the moment they come close to Sadguru, they have this profound attraction, a magnetic attraction towards the Sadguru. And Kundalini awakening happens there and then within minutes, and Shushman Prah begins. Their love for Sadguru is so profound, even if they have met Sadguru in this mortal frame for the first time, that every word that Sadguru says, they start experiencing it. And they're so much engaged at every level listening to those words that they are disconnected in that moment from the worldly surroundings. So these are the disciples, these sanskari disciples who are of Uttam Koti, as in the next couplet in Swarveda, the discussion is of different kind of disciples. So these are the disciples. They don't see just a mortal frame or a human body. They are the one who really visualize, who have the ability to see Sadguru in a form which as a normal human being and Shishya who are not Uttam category, they do not have the ability to see that. For such disciples, even the Sadguru is so happy that he blesses them with Shar Shabd, with eye-to-eye contact, as in he just looks at them and he initiates them with Shar Shabd. For them, everything happens. Every incidence of Adhyatma that we talk about tends to happen only in 6 months. And as it is said that Uttam Koti Purush ki vah avadhi shat maas madhyam koti sadhakan adhik samay abhyas. So ability to visualize the real form of Sadguru, which I discussed in the previous couplet, that as they reach the 4th stage of Vihangam Yoga, then you have those glasses with a super ability, as I can to exemplify, like the Google glasses, with which you can see everything in front of you, which no one else can see. So in that 4th stage of Vihangam Yoga, there is a description about being able to see the real form of Sadguru. One is able to realize the full divine glory of Sadguru, even though at that time also that disciple is in the same mortal frame. So I'm reading your lines, that to say that in this form he becomes deceiving for most of the common population. In my little understanding, the most of the common population are those disciples who are yet to ascend to that level. Those disciples are at such a low level that they do not have the energy, those eyes, that sanskar to even perceive, and they are not deserving in that moment to feel the power and the glory of Sadgurudev and get so attracted and enchanted that they acknowledge the real purpose of life and be able to devote themselves fully to that divine, glorious form of Sadguru to achieve the freedom from the bondage. I hope I could shed some light, Monica ji.
Ji Subhaji. Thank you so much. Yeah, that answers the question.
One thing, just one thing I just wanted to add is, like I think Subhasji had said very much in the beginning that the understanding of the philosophy and tattvas is very, very important, so that there's no hesitation in the devotion to the Sadguru. And the lot of the masses who attend the satsang, they follow the tradition of India, like which has been passed for many, many thousands of years. But the deep philosophy is not understood, and I think that's where the challenge is. When we grew up as a child, we always grew up with that kind of a culture, and we knew that there's a certain tradition. For example, there was a point of time when I was growing up intellectually, and since the philosophy was missing, then the thought transformed that all of this is just a ritual. And there was a time when you would basically not have much of a respect for all of that. And I think a lot of the people go through the similar kind of a feeling. And so many people will just follow the culture, check the box is what we call, check the box, so nothing is left out. And but the deeper philosophy gets missed out, and then the real bhakti is also missed out as part of that. Then it just becomes like part of a wave. If there's a wave, then just get swayed like that. So I think that probably could be another reason. So even though the Guruji tries to communicate the deep philosophy in the most vernacular way, but still it is not understood because the philosophy is so entrenched. I think so. That was just my thought there. And I had a question for Vijayji. Is the Guruji going to be there on 10th to 12th? Is that what the plan is?
Swami will arrive on 10th in New Jersey, and 12th is the event in New Jersey. Afterwards, Swamiji will continue until 28th of August. So he'll be here for 18 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he will, let's say he will spend maybe from 10 to 16th or so in New Jersey, then he may make further trip to other states. If the Canada visa goes through fine, then he will travel to Canada in the last week. So ideally, Swamiji wants disciple to attend Bhumi Pujan and get the darshan. So from California also, if some of you together can come, it will be a very good representation. We wanted to actually group people region wise and bring them to the Sadguru for darshan, and also there'll be the seva for each of the region to come on the stage and kind of honor our guests who are there. So we are planning all that. So I request Jaswinder ji and you, Niranjan ji, to work together and see how many from California you guys can bring to New Jersey on 12th of August.
I see.
Yeah.
Is Jaswinder ji is here?
Jaswinder ji was on and off, so I need to talk to him.
Okay. Yeah, this is a great moment actually to meet the Guruji. I mean, I had been thinking about that for a long time, and I think this
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
perfect
yeah.
opportunity.
No, no,
Yes.
Swamiji, eh, see, this is like we were just discussing about divinity, that why we can't see, and if if we actually start getting little close to seva, all these various hints you will get from Sadhguru, that will slowly start opening our or widening our awareness about what Sadhguru is. For example, when we were booking the ticket for Swamiji, we were taking the direct flight, and then there was instruction that let's have a layover at Europe or something. We booked the flight, then the devotees from UK were actually or around that area, they were praying that can Sadhguru spend few days in Europe, and they did not utter anything to Swamiji. And then suddenly instructions came from Swamiji to us that when we are laying over for few hours in UK, why not rather break the ticket and make 1 week stay in UK? So then we had to change the ticket to make 1 week stay in UK. Then there were few devotees in America. They were praying that, oh, why not Mataji should also come along with Swamiji? And then comes the instruction from Swamiji that Mataji can also come. So when all these happen, you slowly start understanding that, all our prayers or all our thoughts are being watched, witnessed, and heard all the time by Swamiji. Because when it happens once, you will call it a coincidence. But when you are in seva for longer time, and when these things start unfolding to you, sometimes very evidently, Sadhguru Dev will also tell that from the stage or so, uh, when something very prominent is decided by the entity Sadhguru and no forces of the Prakriti can stop it, Sadhguru will very boldly state those things also from the stage. Um, and that is bound to happen, and it will happen. And it happens. So we have seen many of those things also, where Sadhguru Dev will very prominently speak from the stage that the Sadguru has decided this to happen and nobody can stop it from happening. And then we see that happening in a year time. So when you start witnessing all these, slowly you widen your awareness about what Sadguru is capable of. And when you widen your awareness, then you look at the same Guru, but this time when you look at him with different bhav from within, then Sadhguru will also appear differently to that disciple, because that is one of the art, one of the 20 divine art of Sadhguru, that he appears to the disciple, uh, in the layer of divinities based on what eyes you carry with you. So even for a normal devotee also, Subhasji very beautifully actually spoke that it totally depends on the capability of the devotee. Based on how much is the level of devotion within us for Sadhguru, Sadhguru will accordingly transform himself for you. Two people looking at Sadhguru, one people will say he's a normal human being. The other people will see, in fact, the divinity, the aura of divinity, or the light oozing out from him, or a kind of uh, the people who are, as Subhashji said, in the higher level of meditation, they also immediately feel the attraction force working with them right then and there, whereas the person next to that is not feeling anything at all. So how is the same Guru appearing in two different ways to two different disciples. It is because that is also one of the divine arts of Sadguru. So Sadguru is like that. He appears to people only the way he wishes, not the way you wish for him. If he finds one eligible for kind of experiencing what he is actually, then only the disciple is able to experience Sadguru. Without Sadguru's wish or permission, nobody can know what Sadguru is. It's like that.
Thank you so much, Vijayji. Yes, um, that's the beauty of this group, that we understand the philosophy so deeply, and we have been, I think the way they say is that if the iron is not pure, then the paras will not work. So same thing is with the Guruji. I think so the devotees have to be ready, and then the presence will be felt very, very strongly and deeply. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity for many of our satsangis to be to see Guruji face to face.
And Ranjanji, actually, just to emphasize, because we are discussing about this, this human birth is very precious. We know for this fact that here we have opportunity to get Sadguru's satsang, meaning the chances to meet Sadguru. And whatever earnings that we are getting for living, apart from living, the real use of our earning would be to enable us to be able to also devote our time in Sadguru Seva, in Sadguru association. And this visit of Sadguru, he has specifically actually told me when I had a conversation, short conversation with Sadguru, Swamiji actually is coming for devotees in America, not for prachar. In this trip, Swamiji wants all the US devotees to kind of get the blessings from Sadguru in person. So Swamiji wants us to come and get his darshan and spend some time with Sadguru. So anybody who is yet not decided to come on 12th of August, they must ponder upon it. That what is the use of our earning and all if we are not able to get darshan of Sadguru when Sadguru is here in US. And he wants devotees to come on 12th of August in the Bhumi Pujan ceremony because it's very historic. Swamiji will feel very happy that we have taken this step and pain to change our priorities and all and make it possible that we are there on 12th of August as Sadguru desired. So let's all do something great about it and make Sadguru happy. When Sadguru is happy, the Jagat is happy. It is like that. When Sadguru is happy, the Almighty is happy. When Almighty is happy, the happiness spreads in the world. That is the power of Sadguru. So when we please Sadguru, with Sadguru getting pleased, the Almighty is pleased. And when Almighty is pleased, the happiness spreads in the world. Such is the impact of Sadguru.
And I'm glad you reinstated that message that, to take birth in the human form, then in India, and then be in touch with the Sadguru, it's like you are very, very close already. And it serves the purpose of the, this life. So thank you very much. And also, I think to prepare this team, actually, Vijayji and you and your team who has done a wonderful job, actually. I mean, whenever I think of Sadhguru Dev, your image also shows up in my mind, actually. So I think, And I will try to connect with Jaswinder ji, and
Yes, yes.
then I will see who else we can bring. But at least I will there be sure. I'll try to bring my family if possible.
Yes.
And yes, absolutely. We don't want to miss this opportunity.
So this is Subhash. I was meaning to share a few personal examples, if we still have time, on that notification, on that question of what and why Sadhguru looks like so simple in this form. So Diptiji, do we have time? Can I share?
Yeah, sure, Subhashi. Please go ahead.
So I will share very personal examples. I remember in the year 2000, and my distant maternal aunt, she was a follower of Lord Krishna, and she would see me meditating. So there was an event going to happen at that time in Patna, and so she attended that session. She was devoted to attending it. She woke up early in the morning, came with me, attended the full session, and she said, and I will say it in Hindi, that कि कहाँ आपके गुरुजी तो कुछ लगबे नहीं करते हैं, काले काले से हैं, न चेहरा में आकर्षण है, और बाकी बाबा लोग को देखिए आप, सब एकदम सफेद कपड़ा में पहन के, रविशंकर जी ऐसे वैसे. So, and even after attending that session, she could not get attached to Sadhguru, could not understand his blessings, his existence. And these are the Shishya and disciples which we can say belong to Adhma Adham category. They are attracted to these gurus for their worldly desires to be met. Because her question was कि देखिए बेटी का शादी कराना है, तो क्या आपके गुरुजी करवा देंगे, बहुत दिन से नहीं हो रहा है. So look at the intent, that the intent that you attend a session with, and even in that session, she is comparing a guru's appearance with इतने काले हैं आपके गुरुजी, कोई आकर्षण ही नहीं है. So that part was of a disciple who has a tendency towards meditation. At least she came with me to the meditation center, but their thoughts are so feeble. They are so much driven by ego, by unquenched satiety, their own arrogance, that they can never see Guru in the form the Guru is. And she never stayed, but 20 years down the line, she had been following, and she would celebrate all the celebrations related to Lord Krishna. We talked again. And after 20 years, she talked to me again about Sadhgurudev. So 20 years passed by, thinking that your Guru does not look like anything, or he looks like a simple person who is so dark in complexion. So that is what different kind of disciples are. And the blessings of Sadhgurudev is so profound that he never leaves any disciple. So even a disciple like her, who came back after 20 years, Sadhguru's blessings is still there on that disciple. Even if there's a lack of commitment, passion, devotion, and knowledge. That is the reason why knowledge is also very important. Siddhant ka gyan, how things work. So that was one example. The second one was of my grandfather. As I said, these are the personal example. So he would always say, whenever the discussion in the house we will have Sadhguru, his words would be, हम भी तो जो बोलते हैं वो हो ही जाता है. तो कैची ऐसी बात है तुम्हारे सदगुरु में, हम भी बोले थे कि बारिश होगी और देखो बारिश हो गया. Look at the ignorance, look at the and we could never, even if he was my grandfather, but me or my father, we could never, got him initiated, but he could never be Sadhguru's disciple. His arrogance, his ego, and all those attributes of a human body that pulls you down was there, and the same Guru in our same house, because Sadhguru, when visited our house, I remember even discussion from that time, and we all three looked at the same Sadhguru from the same family in a different way. Grandfather looking at him as if, oh, I could do everything that he does. So just wanted to share these personal experiences. When this question was put up, it started coming in my mind, and there are so many such examples. And then there are examples of people who went and beyond. I was in Ranchi at that time, and at the departure of Sadhguru, so many people, well educated and who were standing there wearing tie and shirt, and you couldn't imagine, they started crying like babies. And it was a relentless cry. They could not stop. So that fear from departure of Sadhguru Deva, the feeling of loneliness, the feeling that my loved one is departing from me, is so profound. So that same Sadhguru is being perceived as so important and full of love for someone else. You can see how the different disciples see Sadhguru in a different mortal frame. Thank you. And thank you for letting me discuss this. And back to you, Diptiji.
One quick thing I just want to add very shortly. Subhashji very beautifully said, is that there's so much beauty in the concept where you devote all your success to the Guru. Can you imagine? It gives so much strength. I think Vijayji was once talking about it, that, and also in the philosophy, it is mentioned that if you take the ownership of your success to yourself, then you are basically, it's very hard to get rid of the ego or the arrogance. But if you associate that to the Sadguru, you put all of the onus onto the Sadguru, I mean, it just makes you unstoppable. And I think there's so many stories in all our Shastras about this. That is the power of Sadguru. So I just wanted to, fortify what you were just saying and reinforce how lucky this group is actually, that they will be getting direct contact with the Sadguru himself. I mean, it could have taken innumerable lifetimes. And if it is happening in this life, it's a very, very big thing, actually. That's the way I look at it, at least. Thank you.
Thank you, Subhashi and Niranjanji. Thank you, Subhashi, for elaborating your personal experience in this platform. And also, I would like to tell one line about my experience. Though, Subhashi, you have been associated with Bihangam Yoga since your childhood days, but I'm with Bihangam Yoga for past 3 years, but the same thing has been happening to me. One of my friend's dad, he was here, and he is a very educated man. Like he is I would say I have never spoken to a person before that guy who is kind of very well versed and well educated in Kundalini awakening and all this, Hindu scriptures and all. So that guy, I was discussing all about the Hangam Yoga stuff to that uncle, and at the end of the discussion, he said, "See, your guru, he looks like if I tell in a very common man jargon, like the next Tom, Dick, and Harry. So he looks like a very common man, and he doesn't have that aura or that kind of thing in his personality or in his face." so I was quite surprised because he is a very well educated man, but the way he was looking at all this, to any guru, that is kind of weird, because if he is not educated, or if he doesn't have any spiritual knowledge, maybe in that case it is okay, his looking at the things is different than who is educated. But I was quite surprised, though he was super smart, super educated, but how come the way he is looking at a guru would be completely looks based, like if the guru is not good looking, that means he doesn't have anything in him. So I think, yeah, as you mentioned everything so precisely and clearly to us. So yeah, thank you so much for that. And now let's move forward to the next section. Now I would like to inform everyone about an event Navy is proud to announce. Sorry. Yeah. It is Warrior of the Week. We all know the best time to meditate is Brahma Muhurat between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. But most of us fail to do. To encourage this, Navy started this event where participants join the WhatsApp group called Brahma Muhurat Warrior. Each participants practice Brahma Muhurat meditation on their own. There is no session to join. Once you are done with the meditation, you can send the status to the group as done. If you are interested to join the group, please let us know and we can send you the link. So for this week, the Warrior of the Week are given below: Bhagwati Patel ji, Surya Alam Raju ji, Tejinder Sahadev ji, and Vinita ji. So congratulations to all of you. And inductees of the week were the ones who were able to meditate at least once in the past week. So inductees of the week for this week are Ranjani ji, Amit Palekar ji, Prachi Shirsagar ji, Maya ji, Lalmani ji, Srirang ji, and Yogesh Shirsagar ji. Congratulations to all of you too. We have now reached the last page of today's workshop. In this page, we chant the short version of Shanti Path. In the Shanti Path, we chant for peace for everyone who exists in this universe. May Sadgurudev bless the entire cosmos with peace, love, and prosperity. I would now request Devji to recite the last few lines of Shanti Path for us. Over to you, Devji.
Shanti Path. Hey Prabhu Shanti Sarupa Ho, Shanti Shanti Maya Shanti, Shanti Shanti Jana Shanti Ho, Purna Shanti Maya Shanti. Hey Prabhu Shanti Pradana Kara, Dura Sarva Shanti, Deva Sada Phala Shanti Maya Shanti Shanti Sukha Shanti. Jasa Gurudev. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Devji. I would like to thank all of you for joining us and also encourage everybody to ponder over the topic we discussed today. The Navy has been conducting the virtual satsangs and Bihangam Yoga initiation workshops all over the USA and North America over the last few years. Any queries relating to this can be sent as an email to info@bihangamyog.org. I would like to thank again Jessica ji, Dev ji, Subhash ji, Vijay ji, Tejinder ji, Monica ji, and both the Niranjan ji for the valuable contribution in today's session. See you all next Sunday at 10:30 a.m. EST on the same Zoom session. Have a wonderful day ahead, and Jai Sadgurudev.